the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
11th of September 2023. Ena Ken Kuranchie ya oye editor-in-chief edema Daily Searchlight newspaper na osan ye lawyer ni mapa edi asem ekodan the Supreme Court of the land efa the eligibility of NDC's flag bearer former President John Dramani Mahama to contest for the 2024 elections. Now, Yebra Ken Kuranchie among the reliefs are now all share the free Supreme Court want to say former President John Dramani Mahama was here disqualifying from contesting the 2024 elections. In fact, Supreme Court echo asetra on the 9th of November 2023 and omo dismiss the application. Ken Kuranchie ba bontin be can say application now file no response to Supreme Court dem na say na problem ni ho na ebomu no there were some administrative errors enti no wo correct errors no na wa sign a file seal to no be the NDC led by their lawyers Edi Ken Kuranchie ho few can say what the ban predu Supreme Court ebe bogum predu san say ade na wo file no sebe entasomo nyansani Yebra Ken Kuranchie sa call back correct all the administrative errors said your promise here no assign and refile the case involving the disqualification of former President John Dramani Mahama from contesting the 2024 elections. Na ene the Supreme Court of the land etra asem so. Na nyame no kredi mini ene Yebra Ken Kuranchie Supreme Court and dismiss case. The Supreme Court to onkoye amendment in some of the reliefs in his action seeking to disqualify Mahama from contesting the 2024 elections. Reliefs being and a Supreme Court to come once. Now among the reliefs, Mr. Ken Kuranchie, or your private legal practitioner, is seeking a declaration that upon the true and proper interpretation of Article 66 Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution clearly stipulates the number of years of a presidential term to be 4 years. In court on Wednesday, May 8th, the plaintiff, Ken Kuranchie, sought leave from the court to expand two of his reliefs by adding some constitutional provisions to them. His request this time round was not opposed by the respondent, that is the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, counsel for John Mahama, Tony Lito, and lawyer for the Speaker of Parliament, Thaddeus Sori. Today, the Supreme Court panel was chaired by Chief Justice Gertrude Tukono with Justices Mariama Owusu, Avril Lovelace Johnson, Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Samuel Asiedu, Ernest Gewu, and Yao Daakon Asare. Enti ene Supreme Court judges ya ekwa setena ya omo Emma Yebra Ken Kuranchie kwan for amendment no na Chief Justice Gertrude Tukono, Justice Mariama Owusu, Justice Lovelace Johnson, Justice Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Justice Samuel Asiedu, Justice Ernest Gewu, and Justice Yao Daakon Asare. Into 7 justices of the Supreme Court of the land. NNA Omokwa Seta. Now, omu chiremu a Yebra Ken Kuranchie amendment ni bio enyina ewia. Yankopon ya domo May 10th, 2024, which is on Friday, on Famra the court. Now, Mr. Ken Kuranchie ono ankasa na representing ho. And our to court say or person was expanded the first two of his main reliefs seeking to disqualify the former President John Dramani Mahama from contesting. Now reliefs or seeking to expand the one a declaration that on a true and proper interpretation of Articles 66 clause 1 and clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution. Yeah, it say a person seeking a second presidential term must be a sitting president. A person seeking a second presidential term must be a sitting president. Ebion declaration was signed expanded and so a declaration on the true and proper interpretation of Articles 66 clause 2 and 3 of the 1992 Constitution. Yeah, and also say a second presidential term must be consecutive to the first term. A second presidential term must be consecutive to the first term. And when we and according to your Kuranchie, all choir amendment assigned at the constitutional laws to be account. Now the plaintiff Kuranchie is asking the Apex Court for the following reliefs. 1. A declaration that on a true and proper interpretation of Article 66 clause 1 and clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution, a person seeking a second presidential term must be a sitting president. That is the number 1. Number 2, a second presidential term must be consecutive to the first term. Number 3, a former president of Ghana falls under the supervision and control of the Parliament of Ghana in all his or her future offices. Yeah, and also Article 68 clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution, and also Ohianchirimu. A former president of Ghana requires parliamentary approval before he can occupy any other office that provides emolument. And no Article 68 clause 2 and also Ohianchirimu true and proper interpretation. The office of president is an office that provides emolument. And no Article 68 clause 3 and also true and proper interpretation. A former president of Ghana remains in the employ of the state. And no also a true and proper interpretation. And no Article 68 clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, and clause 9. Mami enchechere the makani entoa eso. The other kind say, you can Kuranchie say court in church anymore. Because 1992 Constitution 66, Article 66 clause 1 and 2 say, Obia or say, Obe second term as president, Constitution has stated say, I was a yes sitting president, and son would to me as a contested. They are running for a second term. But in the case of former President John Dramani Mahama, who did the first time we am, when to me and to us, say, or your former president, and the Supreme Court in church anymore, say, Akwenya Ben and Dahon Muntia, and the former President John Dramani Mahama as a contested for the 2024 election. And I was uncle to Beyonce, Article 66, clause 1 and 2 of the 1992 Constitution, second presidential term, it was a year consecutive to the first term. It was a 12 first term. But in this case, former President John Dramani Mahama tried the first time we again. Ghana fought to Nsem-Pii in the first instance, and a Ghana for some boo the faso in the second instance. Into what we mean, and I was saying, baby, into say Ghana fought to Abama Manasa baby one, and yet consecutive because in fear, Polly or trick and Ababe Dantem, and the Supreme Court to change the move factor, say Sambrano, Saint Pana security. And I did also me and Sunny say, Obi a former president. Now person occupy office fufuro biom than office of the state. Ohia say Ghana mrahye bedwa ebegiatum. And also your Article 68 clause 2. Enti no saying opponent ase no etie. And a biom was actually say Obi a former president ya. Sa office no Ghana ban assign ehwe no eman a monument as waba pension in the natural sense. Enti no saying no here in remove from the Supreme Court because obi eco pension ni etua ne pension payer or no can Kuranchie nyin to say obesan aba into active office enti enchechire mu. And a bill ochiremu a obi eye former president aban eye Ghana oman no ene tua ne katua ne bibia nti oman no afọ na dwuma as a former president no ye dwuma as a former president na se si eye se ma na saba be contest bio ne wo weni a wo se baba be a certain president no sai ena emu kyeremu no esi etie ena ope sai kyeremu ti ento aso reliefs ne ba ko bio so ne se a former president of Ghana is not qualified stroke eligible to seek election as president of Ghana. And no year, Article 62 of the 1992 Constitution. And I reckon Kuranchie say can say, okay, can Article 62 of 1992 Constitution. And no say actually want to say, obi a former president of Ghana. On to me some mabion say san to ba manoma ne sama ye president. Enti ono sana ne nti ase e kire no on the Article 62 into Supreme Court a man true and proper interpretation of that article. And the being was say the Parliament of Ghana has a mandatory duty to comply with the stipulations of Article 68 Clause 2 insofar as all former presidents of Ghana are concerned. And also here true and proper interpretation. Say Article 68 Clause 2 and after Article 290 Clause 1F echiremu Ghana mrase bedwa eye ohye se omode Article 68 Clause 2 no be ye adwuma se obi ye former president na okope any other office of the state eye wo mu Ghana mrase bedwa ene wo se omoma dipakro no tumi no eye wo hye so omode sa mra ne be ye adwuma sa no no ne ntiase e kire enti Supreme Court ntiase foforo ho a omo enchire ni mo ana yewra Kuranchie edi ni nyina ba wiye no osan estate say Article 69 Clause 1 and 291 Clause 2G ensu chiremu a Ghana yen state of office no e kire say obi ekọ pension na yetua ne ka as a pensioner na osan ye ba bio a on to me full time work or ye adwuma based on contractual terms enei ye monument a ye the former president ye ex gratia meaning say na adwuma ba wiye e na ayega na ban e ma na bibi e de support no ho the ne ya wo so sen e ba back no sen ene no so enkyerase no etie enti these are some of the articles are you can Kuranchie wasan state say of true and proper interpretation of all these articles as against said here or no isi etiasie edifa. Now an order directed at the fourth defendant to invoke and operationalize Article 68 Clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution. An order was directed to the second and third defendants to compel them to make available to Parliament all engagement, offices, employment, and appointment subsequent to leaving office as president. An order directed the third defendant to fully disclose to Parliament the terms of his engagement as the flag bearer of a political party. An order directed at the third defendant to seek parliamentary approval for his engagement as a flag bearer of a political party, or in the alternative, an order directed at the third defendant to desist from his presidential ambitions. Any other order or orders that the Honorable Court may deem fit to grant. Enti orders are we was say Supreme Court ebe grant no ene no so ye hwehwe mu say order or directed the fourth defendant ya Ghana mrase bedwa say omo invoke na omo fa Article 68 Clause 2 ni nyadwuma ya ka say e was say enka former president ekwaji tumi edi free Ghana mrase bedwa and sample eno baba ye flag bearer of a political party. Sa order no or we say Supreme Court chichemu nya fa sa order na nyadwuma afi order and also compelling the second and the third defendant, that is the Attorney General, and afi Ghana mrase bedwa say omo make available to Parliament all engagement, offices, employment, appointment. Yeah, the former president aye to leave in office as president. And after order, directed the third defendant, your former president John Dramani Mahama, say on be selmo fanchire Ghana Mnasebeja, the terms of his engagement as flag bearer of the NDC. And after order, directed the third defendant, former president John Dramani Mahama, so once I'm seek parliamentary approval for the engagement as flag bearer of the NDC. And now say court and order the third defendant, your former president John Dramani Mahama, say on digital cry on chin home free the presidential ambitions towards the 2024 elections. And after orders account home bianwa Supreme Court a year in Chichiri Modi for Samre who or signed the back or no can Kuranchie a dear free the Supreme Court of the land. And to your hand, Musa Yakupoya Mefiada. You can Kuranchie quite an amendment in Nsem-Pii and someone. These 7 noble judges, led by the Chief Justice, may get to Kono, Edibeto, Ken Kuranchie, former President John Dramani Mahama, the Attorney General Godfrey Yabadame, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana, Kingsford Bagbin, and Nimo. Ewo, Sarkis, DBCBA, Yedebreati for Adofonia.
How can he be, say, your mama promised, Unia, say, what the tablets, Ebema students, page 15 of the same manifesto. Now, no, page 15, also Ebema school for tablets. Now, Omodia Siade. Now, started our secondary school for tablets, misplaced priority. Pilot the use of electronic textbooks, e-books, using tablets under secondary, basic education, primary and junior high school education. So, on the tablets, no crano, what they call JHS level. Now, the free SHS, we say a misplaced priority. But another one on health. Now, no, me catch it.
So by misplaced priority.
Good. Health health. Page 64. No, cast or better district hospitals in all districts. But now, the agenda 111 say it's an unwise decision. So, I buy the hospital baby. No, be what Swamia. I didn't know who Quadas. And I said, confirm not you ha. Then, I said, Swamia Hospital. Where mun now? So if you are president, now you know be on your consistent. Now Juma Wayo Udi Jana. Okay? Maybe I remember the running mate. Juma Obey. Professor Nana Jopokwajima. Ne handing over news. Only on him say 2012 elections. Started 2008. Well, 2008 and another promise free SHS no. Now problem is free health insurance, one-time premium.
Yeah.
But from 2012, your mama take you over and also buy education. No, can say it will be difficult to make education free. Because I might be a tribe or Kenya Munina and ye. The Ghana AEB. But you only say feasible. They say obesity 200 senior highs. 200 in the manifesto. Sir, major campaign promise against MPP's free senior high, no. Up winning power no the share. Professor Nana Jopokwajima as Minister of Education to deliver. Omu deliver 14.5%. 200 senior high, no. Omu konomesi 29. Nyame, they are all handing over news. And this is report from Get Fund. Get Fund report to me. Community SHS project, e-blocks. Get Fund, mean read the Jet Preamble. A total of 60 out of 101 community senior high school e-blocks have been completed. 29 were completed as at the end of 2016. While the remaining 31 were completed between 2017 and 2022. 31. When you saw no Diana, no Ojaka 900 million Ghana cedis. 9 trillion. Tetiskano. I'll prove it to you here. The ministry will 900 million Ghana cedis. 100 million Ghana cedis be 1 trillion. Tetiskano. The ministry with financial clearance from the Get Fund ratified and re-awarded 20 community senior high projects that were at advanced stages of completion. Work is currently ongoing at these sites. An additional 50 e-blocks have been earmarked for resumption of works, pending funding allocation by the Get Fund this year. From 1 to 29, na now do dia we be 1 to 31 ye betimi abokuro no ne ya kire ba bi kura esi ni nyina get fund provided eni but yenkoso o rebe ho Professor Nana Je Opoku my notes no hand over progressive free senior high day students na buy tia almost school fees just 39 cedis mo no 39 cedis omo kono omu job debt of 30,300 billion now no Opoku my handing over notes to Napo me say ha Napo press conference nini wa opese unya bi kan bia and ko Google government clears chunk of education sector debt Google well benya and now ha we inherited huge debt at education ministry from now Opoku Agyeman Mati Opoku Prempe the obe Google bia no benya details benya the press conference nini me say 30,120 Ghana cedis and ojan was just progressive free school form school fees here just 39 Ghana na we say kufu adu tu akwara aba school fees over 1,000 Ghana nti wo na wo je akira ma obi saa obi a won tu school fees akwara aba 39 Ghana we demand na wo beja ne o tu akwara aba over 1,000 Ghana how will you feel? What is the future of free SHS that will be handed over if Mahama was to win elections, which God will forbid? Because nyame do Ghana NC get